Hi, welcome Movadi Yogis. Happy St. Patrick's Day. My name is Andrea. Welcome to your Hatha Yoga practice. As always, thank you for joining me. Hi, welcome. Hi, Leslie. Welcome, welcome. Are we wearing our green tonight? I love the green wig. The green wig. Leslie, in your drums class, it was awesome. Yeah, that's a green hearts. So welcome everyone to your Hatha Yoga practice. We will begin in a few moments at 6 o'clock. So welcome and thank you so much for joining me on this St. Patrick's Day. If you're joining live, if you're watching the replay, you can kind of skip ahead for a few minutes till the beginning of practice. If you're popping by, this will also be posted to the main page after the practice. But hopefully you're staying for the practice, maybe enjoying a Guinness after the practice. I mean, we're at home, so there's no judgment if you are using that instead of water tonight. Again, welcome. Thank you so much. We'll give it another couple minutes. You can go ahead and get set up on your mats. Any props that you might need for your practice. If you have yoga blocks, those are great to have close by, or something equivalent to that, like a firm cushion. So books, people use books instead. Anything that you can use as a prop if we need to align the body and have a little bit of support. If you'd like to have a strap close by, we won't specifically be using the strap, but if you find you're in a position and you could use some more length in the arms, you can use a strap or a towel, resistance band, so you can have all those close by. Hi, Mackenzie. So again, welcome to your Hatha Yoga practice. We'll go ahead and begin so you can get yourself set up in a comfortable seated position, either on a prop. I'm sitting up on a block, or a cushion, just somewhere where you can help keep the spine nice and neutral as we take a few moments at the beginning of class to connect with the foundation, and that is our breath. So welcome. Thank you for joining me on your mats. My name is Andrea. I'm from the Burlington Movadi Club. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully you're wearing your green. There's always a little bit of Irish in everybody, I think. At some point, everyone says that they have some Irish in them. So welcome. Thank you for joining me and allowing me to guide you through your practice. Tonight's class will be focusing on our hips, but specifically a little bit more active mobility in the hips. So when we activate the outer part of the hips and the muscles around the hip joint, it can kind of lead to greater openings and releases. So they kind of go hand in hand. So we're going to explore a little bit of active mobility and some nice deep stretching for the outer hips as we let go of any tension that might be residing in that area. And it's also believed energetically that the hips are kind of a dumping ground for body's stress and tension, any kind of emotions that we're going through. So if you find yourself, feeling that emotional release as you start to open your hips, know that that is perfectly normal, right? The body, the physical and emotional body are all connected to one. And so starting in that comfortable position, let's just take a big breath in through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Let it go. Let's do that twice more. Big inhale through the nose and let it go through the mouth. And again, once more, breathing in and letting go. And beginning to let go of any tension or thoughts from our day. And just shifting in the presence of the body and the breath right now in this moment. Now, with each exhale, start to feel this releasing and letting go. So as the Buddha says, the secret to happiness is letting go. Slowly begin to deepen your exhale. So as you feel the breath come in, inflating the chest and ribs, taking a little bit longer exhale, emptying out all the way into the base of the belly. Again, inhale for a count of 1, 2, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. So a slightly longer exhale if you can. Find the pace that works for you. Breathe in. 1, 2, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And take a few more cycles of that, 3 more rounds of your longer exhale. Last cycle of breath. And then once more, take a larger inhale through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Slowly making your way off any props. And we're going to start on our back in a reclined butterfly. So rolling down, finding your Supta Baddha Konasana here with the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open wide. Let the upper body relax down, shoulders, back of the head. I'm going to take 3 active hip lifts here in our butterfly, and then enjoy a little bit deeper passive stretch. This is also known as PNF stretching, so activating first to get a deeper range and release in the passive stretch. So press the soles of the feet together, kind of pushing down through the pinky edge side of the foot. And then as you inhale, start to lift the hips and low back off the floor and try and keep the knees open wide to the sides. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Twice more. Inhale, lift the hips up, knees press open wide, and then exhale, lowering down. Last time. Inhale, pushing into the outer edges of the feet, knees press out, and then exhale, slowly lower the hips and pause. Notice if, as we pause here, if you feel a deeper release and opening, maybe the knees feel just a little bit closer to the floor or thighs. Take one more breath here. Feel the space in the outer hip joints. And then inhale, close the knees together, draw them into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, wrap your arms around your legs and squeeze in. Taking a few hip circles here as we separate the knees out to the sides. Press them away from the body, close the knees back together, and then draw them back in. A couple more times in this direction. Open wide, press them out together, and then into the chest. Out, away, in, and then reverse this. So press the knees away from the body together, open them out to the sides, circle them back in, and then together. So press them out, around to the sides, in, and together. Last time here. Just feeling this kind of circular motion of the hip joints. And then holding the knees into the chest, release the left foot down to the floor. Either the leg can be bent or straight. And stand the right foot onto the ceiling and take a happy baby, a half happy baby. So holding the outer edge of the foot or ankle. Trying to keep the hips level here, so actively press that left side down and try and line the ankle over the knee joint. So if that means even holding the back of the thigh, you can do that as well. Just gently draw your right knee towards the underarm, feeling that hip externally rotated open here. And one more breath. And then just switching legs, so bend the left knee into the chest, release the right leg down, either straight or bent. Again, grabbing a hold of that leg somewhere that's appropriate, the outer foot, ankle, or back of your thigh. And gently draw your knee towards the underarm, pressing down through that right side, evening out the hips. And oftentimes we actually feel a little bit deeper of a stretch here in a half happy baby versus full happy baby, because we're focusing on one side at a time. One more breath. And then bring your right knee to your chest. Keep the knees open wide, big toes to touch in a lifted butterfly position. And then as you inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor, reach the hands between the legs towards your top of your mat. Keep your knees open wide as the sternum lifts up. And starting to also engage through our center here. Stay for another 5, 4, 3, lift up through the center of the chest, 2, 1, and release down, knees together. Just rolling yourself over to one side and then press up as we come onto our hands and knees into tabletop. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to move through some cat-cow, but adding a tiger leg lift for some added hip mobility. So let's start with the left leg, keeping the leg bent. As we inhale, lift the toes up towards the ceiling, drop the belly down and open the chest as the shoulders draw back. And then exhale, knee to chest, rounding through the spine. Twice more. Inhale, lift up and back, chest opens. And then exhale, knee to chest, rounding in. Last time. Inhale. Shoulders draw back. Exhale, hollowing out the belly, knee to chest. Inhale, lift left leg and keep it there this time. And then opening that left knee out to the side, taking kind of an active hip opening here in a fire hydrant position, trying to keep the shoulders square. And then extend left leg straight, plant the foot down to the floor, kind of on the outside of your mat, kind of lined up with the hip, pressing through the outer part of the pinky edge of the foot, tent up onto your fingertips, and start to walk them over to that left side, taking kind of a lateral side stretch for the right side body. So think of reaching the right fingertips a little bit further away as that right hip crease draws back. Keep grounding down through that left leg. And then inhale, walk your hands back into center. Release the hands back under the shoulders, bend your knee, bring it back under the hip, and then reset, other leg. Inhale, right leg lifts, point the toe to the ceiling, open your chest, and then exhale, knee to nose, rounding in. Inhale, lift up, feel the chest open, and then exhale, feel the upper back open as we round in. Last time through. Breathe in, lifting the thigh, opening the front of the hip. Exhale, curling in. Inhale, hold that tiger lift. And then exhale, open your knee to the side again to that fire hydrant position. Again, using that active hip mobility, feel the engagement through the outer glutes and thigh. And then straighten that right leg off to the side, plant the foot, again, kind of lining it up with that left knee and hip joint. Tent up onto the fingertips, and then exhale, walk your hands over to the right side. Reach the left hand a little further away as the left hip crease draws back, pressing through the outer edge of that right foot. And then inhale, lifting up, walk your hands back to center, slide them underneath the shoulders, bend your right knee, and tuck it back under the hips. Curl the toes, coming into our downward facing dog as we lift the hips up and back. Exhale. We'll start with a little dynamic movement here. If that feels good, pedal your feet out, bending one knee, pressing opposite heel down. Maybe even pivoting the hips a little bit side to side. And then find stillness. On your inhale, lift the right leg, bend your knee and open your hip in a three-legged dog. If this is too intense on the wrists at any point, you can lower the right knee and take a variation on the knees and tabletop. And then taking a few hip circles here. So circling the knee around 3 times in one direction. And then reverse, other direction 3 times. Keeping the left shoulder turned down. So really opening from the outer hip. And then holding the leg there, coming forward into plank pose, keeping the leg lifted as you exhale, left knee to left elbow. See if you can hold it up there. A little bit of strength. And then step it outside the left hand, lower the right knee down into your lizard pose. You can rock a little bit forward and back, a little side to side. Untuck the back toe so the right foot is flat on the floor and start to feel the right front of the thigh and hip dropping down closer to the floor. So releasing the front of the back thigh as well. Option to stay on your hands, or you can lower to the forearms or even use your props here, somewhere in between. Breathing into that left outer hip. Adding a twist here. So pick up your left foot and then dial it out slightly on an angle, rolling to the pinky edge of the foot as the arch lifts and the knee starts to open with the hip. Right forearm or hand stays down as the left hand comes to the thigh. Turn the chest to the side and exhale, draw your left shoulder back. So kind of feeling this deeper sensation through that inner part of the left thigh and groin. Allowing that knee to track in that same angle as the foot. So rather than rolling on the ankle, we're opening through the hip. One more breath. And then exhale. Release the left hand down, turn the foot back forwards. Moving the props out of the way as we plant the hands and step up back into our downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up and back for one breath. And then release the left leg down and recenter. And switching sides, right leg lifts on your inhale, bend your knee and open the hip. So you're opening the front of the hip and thigh. Taking those hip circles here, moving 3 times in one direction. And then other direction, reverse it. Rolling that right shoulder down towards the floor. Feeling the front of the thigh peeling open. And then on your next exhale, coming forward into that single leg plank, right knee to right elbow. Hold. Draw your navel towards your spine. And then step your foot outside your hands. Find your lizard lunge. Back knee comes down and uncurl the back toes. Again, I like to kind of settle into these deeper stretches here, a little rocking side to side or forward and back if that feels good. And then just start to explore the depth here, going a little bit deeper by lowering the forearms to the floor or props. Again, just feeling it out through the breath. Coming into that twist as we pick up right foot, dial it slightly out, rolling to that right outer edge of the foot. So inner arch lifts. Left forearm or hand stays down, and then as we exhale, right hand to right thigh and turn. Keep drawing your right shoulder back as the chest opens. Feeling the inner part of your right thigh opening and moving away from the body. And then at the same time, feel that left front of your hip and thigh start to move a little bit further down to the floor. So getting the front of the back hip as well. And then exhale, come back forwards, turn the foot back forward, plants the entire foot down. Hands come to the floor as we lift right leg up and back, 3-legged dog, 1 breath, open hip. And then release the right foot down. Coming back to that left leg as we inhale. This time keep your left leg straight, knee to chest. So coming right into the center. And then step left foot all the way through, lower right knee to the floor, arms reach overhead as we rise up into our Anjaneyasana or low lunge. I feel the spine growing tall here as that right hip starts to kind of sink down. And then as you inhale, start to shift a little bit more upright. Straighten the left leg into a kind of a half hamstring or half splits position. And so you may even want to use your props here. Keeping a little bit more upright here in this position. Dig your heel in and draw your left hip crease back. So starting to kind of target the outer IT band in this stretch. So adding a twist, so this is where the prop might be useful if the fingers are far away from the floor. So the prop either on the inside of the left leg or the outsides. And then as you exhale, start to lift the left arm up and turn towards the straight leg. Keep digging the heel in and drawing your left hip crease back. You can even challenge your balance by taking that hand outside of the shin. Squeeze inner thighs. And then exhale, turn back forwards. Bend into your left knee, plant your foot. Hands to the floor as we step back in our downward facing dog. Exhale. And then just switching sides. Right leg lifts, keeping the leg straight. Exhale, knee to chest. Right into the center. And then stepping it through, left knee comes down, rising up, inhale. And just take the first few breaths here to kind of sink the hips down. So feeling it more in that back leg. Notice if you're gripping any tension in the shoulders or the neck, softening. And then inhale, shifting a little bit more upright, straighten right leg into that half splits. Again, finding that position of the left hand with your prop or the floor. Dig your heel in, draw your right hip crease back, and as you exhale, right hand reaches up. Find your balance. Keep drawing the inner thighs towards one another. And again, feeling this sensation through the outer right hip and IT band. Again, option 2, play with balance, left hand over that right shin. Dig the heels in, ground down. And then exhale, turn back forward, bend your right knee. And this time we're going to step to the top of our mat and come into our Malasana Yogi squat. So left leg steps as wide as our yoga mat, heels turn inward, and start to bend the knees and lower the hips between the heels. Option 2, sit on a prop here if that feels better for your knees. A little bit more active here. So notice if you're just kind of hanging out in the hips, see if you can draw the heels towards one another and feel this kind of buoyancy through the pelvis. A little more supportive for the hip joints and low back. Elbows can be on the inside of those thighs. Spine nice and tall. One more cycle of breath here. Feel the heels drawing in. Feel the energy moving up through the base of the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then exhale, release. Hands down, turn the feet back forward, walk them in towards one another, forward folds. Hands to hips, inhale, halfway lift, chest forwards. And then all the way up to stand, extend arms overhead. And then exhale, release hands to either side in our mountain pose. Coming into our balance. So starting with tree pose. So let's start with the left leg. So picking the left heel up, rounding through that right foot, and then drawing that energy upward to feel that support. Open the left hip and then walk your heel in so it's touching your right leg. So you can start kind of with this kickstand, which helps with balance, big toe down, heel to inner calf, or high tree, inner thigh, as long as we're above or below the knee joint. Right, hands in that prayer position, rounding down through the right foot. Inhale, grow the spine tall. As we steady our drishti, our eye gaze, start to feel the breath lift the arms overhead, growing your tree nice and tall. Softening in the spaces around the neck and the jaw. And then one more breath in this position. Again, using that calm, slow breathing to allow the body to find balance. And then making this tree a little bit more active. So as we inhale, see if you can lift your heel off your leg. So you kind of the tiptoe is touching the leg. Find your balance there, and then maybe lifting the foot completely off the leg so we are in the same hip position. A little bit more active through that left leg. Ground down through the right leg. As we transition into our floating half moon Ardha Chandrasana, start to slowly extend left leg back as the chest comes forwards. Right fingertips reach to the floor or a block. Extend left leg straight back. Pushing through the heel to activate the back leg and outer hip. Keep lengthening that right side waist. One more breath here. Chest and hips open to the side. And then we're going to reverse this. So take your time. So as you inhale, bend your left knee, draw it towards your chest. So you're in that 90 or fire hydrant position. A little lighter on the right fingertips as we slowly come to stand. This time cross the left thigh over the right to find your eagle legs. So big toe can wrap behind the standing leg or touch down to the floor. Bend the elbows to either side, wrap right arm under left, palms to touch, or even just hold the shoulders. Elbows in line with the shoulders as the wrists over the elbows. Feel that left hip crease drawing back, squeezing the inner thighs towards one another as we stay for one more breath. And then inhale, unwind the arms and legs and release into our mountain pose. Just switching our legs, I'm just going to turn around and face the other way. So starting in that tree position, shift to your left leg, pick up right heel and open your right hip. Again, find your position that gives you a little bit of challenge but balance. So high, low, maybe just resting on the calf. Notice if you're twisting from the torso, so drawing the left hip back so the pelvis is even here, and active mobility as we open the right thigh. Hands to heart center. Soften through your breath. And then inhale, arms reach overhead, grow your tree tall. Starting to get a little bit lighter in the right heel as we make this a little more active, coming onto the tippy toes of the right, maybe lifting the foot off altogether of the standing leg, holding it out to the sides. Imagine you're pressing your right knee back behind you into a wall. And then slowly transitioning into our Ardha Chandrasana as right leg extends back, chest forward, left fingertips reach to the floor under the shoulder, chest and hip open to the side. Pressing through the ball of the back foot. So active through the back leg helps with stability and balance through the body. And then one more breath here. Feel the collarbone broadening wide. Reversing this right knee to chest. Keeping the hip open in fire hydrant as we slowly lighter on the left fingertips and start to rise up. If you wobble, you wobble. Right thigh crosses over the left to find your eagle. Right arm underneath the left, wrapping the hands or hold your shoulders. Elbows move away from the body as the left hip draws back, grounding down through the standing foot. So taking a little internal rotation here through the top leg. One more breath. And then slowly unfold. Release the legs and arms from the top of our mat, coming into a few standing poses before we move down to the floor. So our left leg steps way back, finding a warrior two as the heel comes down, right knee bends. Lining up the front heel to the back arch. I'm going to open the hip here, so actively again pushing that knee kind of back behind you so the knee is tracking more to the center of the foot, turns on that outer right glute and thigh. Feel the breath moving up through the spine, lengthening out through the arms and fingertips. And then on your next inhale, straightening the right leg, coming into Trikonasana triangle. Drag the heels, draw the heels towards one another, scissor inner thighs as we reach the right fingertips forward and then drop them down. Left arm reaches up. So feeling the space through the right side of the body. Energy drawing up through the pelvic floor and the base of the spine. And then as you inhale, keeping the legs straight, just lift the upper body back to that warrior two position, transitioning into Skandasana or side lunge. So right leg stays bent, bend the left knee this time, shift back, pick up the toes, and sink the hips down towards that left heel. Starting to get a little bit lower, you can use your hands here to help lower you down. Left elbow on the inside of the thigh as the chest stays open. And then slowly coming all the way down, lower the right thigh and hip. And then drop your left knee to the floor, so we're kind of in this hurdler's stretch here. Turn the chest towards that right leg. And then inhale to lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, starting to fold over the straight leg. Compressing your navel to your spine. Engaging through the front of the right quads to lengthen the hamstrings. Inhale rises us up. We're going to reverse that. So lift left knee, plant the foot, and see if you can lift yourself up without using your hands. So again, using a little bit more active mobility as we pop the right hip up. Bend into the right leg, plant the foot back to warrior two. This time side angle as the right forearm finds the thigh, left arm extends long. Bending deeply through the right leg as the hips drop down. Good, one more breath. Keep opening across the chest and using the strength and heat in our legs, but the ease and lightness through the breath and upper body. Lifting up as we inhale, straighten the right leg, turn the right toes to face the side, and we're just going to pivot to face the back of our mat into warrior two. So left toe faces the back, bend deeply through the leg, and open the arms. So you can adjust the legs, again, front heel to the back arch. Opening that left knee. So feeling that left outer thigh turn on. And then on your next inhale, straighten left leg. Triangle pose as we squeeze in our thighs towards the midline. Reach long to the horizontal, and then left arm down, right arm up. So feel the chest open. Feel the length of the side waist. So really using the legs here to support the body. And then inhale, lift the chest, keep the legs straight, finding that Skandasana. Shift to the right leg this time, pick up the left toes, hips to the right heel as we start to drop down. Again, you can ease your way down with your hands. Chest opens, and then slowly lower left hip and thigh down. Right knee drops down, turn the chest. Square the shoulders to the left leg, and then exhale, folding over that leg. Feel the space of the spine. If you need to, you can even use your towel here or your strap. But feel the spine nice and tall as we compress the belly towards the spine. And then inhale as we lift up. And reversing that, lift right knee. Pop yourself up into that Skandasana. And then as you exhale, bend left knee, warrior 2 to face the back. Side angle, left forearm to thigh, right arm reaches up, chest opens. Again, feel that breath come into the center of the chest, radiating out through the right fingertips. And then as we inhale, straighten left leg, turn the left toes to face the side, staying in this wide straddle position, taking a forward fold here, hands to hips, hinging from the hips, so tailbone kind of tilts back, and then exhale, folding the chest down. You can walk the hands away from the body, starting to drop the head down. You can even bring your hands to blocks for support or hold your thighs or ankles. Softening through the upper body. Feel the backs of the thighs lengthen. 2 more cycles of breath. Feel the back of the neck naturally opening here with the help of gravity. And then inhale, lifting halfway. Soften the knees, walk the hands back, pivot around to the front of your mat, and step back into downward facing dog. Exhale. Just transitioning into our pigeon pose from here. So left leg lifts, left knee to our wrists, and lower the shin down as we settle the back leg. So staying upright to begin with. If this is uncomfortable on the knee in any way, you can bend the back leg. Just kind of rest on the outer left hip. You can bring a prop like a towel underneath the thigh. Taking a couple active lifts here as we try and lift the hands off the floor. So using the activation through the outer left hip. So as you inhale, see if you can lift the hands, squeeze the elbows back, scissor the inner thighs towards one another so you kind of feel this lift, and then exhale, release the hands and hips down. Twice more. Inhale, lift the arms, squeeze thighs, and exhale, release down. Once more. And then exhale, release, and this time taking a forward fold. Forehead can come down to stack hands or the floor. Feel the right hip moving down towards the floor. Slowing the pace of your breath. And then on your next inhale, start to lift the head. Roll to that left outer hip. Swing the right leg around. Coming into double pigeon by bringing the right foot on top of that left thigh and trying to stack the shins as best we can. So if there's still a lot of tension in that outer hip, you can use a prop, or you can straighten the left leg. So the left leg straightens, right knee bends. All right, sitting down through the sit bones, lifting up through the crown of your head. Feeling that right thigh and outer hip starting to open and move down towards the left foot or the floor. One more cycle of breath. And then we're just going to kind of unwind ourselves around the left side as we release the right foot down, pivot to face the back of our mat, find a downward facing dog. And then just switching legs, right leg lifts, knee to wrist, lower the shin down. and then lower that back leg. And again, just making any adjustments that feel good on this side. I know my sides are very different, so use a different prop on this side or bend the back knee. Taking 3 of those lifts as we inhale, elbows draw back. And then exhale, release the hips and hands down. Inhale twice more, lift. Exhale and release. And you might just start to notice with each release, there's just a deeper range that the body allows. So settle into that without force. And then exhale, folding forwards, or head down to the hands or floor. Feeling that left hip moving down towards the floor as well. And then inhale, slowly start to lift head, shoulders, roll to the right outer hip, swing that left leg around, coming into that double pigeon as the left foot comes to right thigh. Straighten the bottom leg. If you did that for the other side, you can feel the grounding down through the tailbone and sit bones as your left thigh and knee open. So feeling that sensation through the top leg here as well. Settle here for 2 more cycles of breath. When we use that slow, deep diaphragmatic breath, it activates the vagus nerve, so what stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system that rests and digest. Unhook that right ankle and just switch. Left ankle to right thigh. Drop both knees over to the left. Turn the head to the right. And again, feel that right hip lifting up. And then inhale, come back into center. Release the left foot to the floor. Straightening one leg at a time. Separating the legs as wide as your mat, or even keeping the knees bent if that feels better for your low back. Take a larger inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Shavasana. Just resting here in the awareness of your breath. without shaping or controlling the breath. Just let it naturally come in and release, just like a wave. Inhale brings in new energy. Exhale, tide sweeps away anything that no longer serves the body or the mind. Take a larger inhale through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing your awareness into your body. And when you're ready, just rolling yourself over to one side. And slowly coming up into a seated position. And just closing our practice together as one breath. Bring the palms to touch, and then exhale, come into heart center. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for joining me on your mat. Namaste. Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy that Guinness or green beer if that's what you're celebrating tonight. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Oh, hi, Ria. Thank you, Kayla. Again, this will be posted to the page, so you can save it or check out the other classes. Still lots of variety of classes on both Instagram and Facebook, so feel free to invite friends or family. They're open to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody.